14 Pro and 14 Pro Max, even the 14, whatever they call it, is going to be tough. Let's talk pre-order. Matt, have you ever missed a launch day for pre-order?
No, and it's almost embarrassing to say, but no, I never have. And the one time where they didn't do pre-orders, that's the one time I stood in line all night to get the phone. So no, I've never. I think we're in the same boat, right?
Same. Never missed it. So you're talking to two experts here who have gone through years and years and years and years of pre-orders to give you the tips of the trade. So let's break down sort of the easiest way to get a phone on launch day. First off, there's a couple things you can do the day or the couple days before you go through the order process, and there's stuff to do the day of. So a couple days before, obviously figure out which phone you want to get. So whether you're going regular, you're going pro, make that determination. And then there's the question of where do you order? Do you go through the carrier? Do you go through Best Buy? Do you go through Apple? In my opinion, I've always had the best of luck with Apple because usually they have the most stock. Their ordering process has gotten a lot better in recent years. I feel like in past years it was really dicey with Apple, so you have to go to like AT&T or Verizon, but I still think like Apple is the best way to go on launch. Do you agree with that, or is there a secret other vendor you could go with?
I think it's always safest to go with Apple because I haven't really heard this in the last few years, but it definitely has happened before where like you would pre-order through, let's say, Best Buy or AT&T or Verizon or whatever, something that's not specifically Apple. You would get a pre-order of some sort, and they actually run out of phones. If Apple says that you have a pre-order, you have a pre-order, unless some, it's technically possible that the phones wouldn't get to the store, but that has never happened, and we've never been in that situation. So if Apple says you're going to get a phone, you're going to get a phone. Whereas I have heard unfortunate stories where people go through different retailers and there is some kind of mix up that just doesn't happen. They thought they were going to get this allotment at their store and that's not how many came in, that kind of thing. So if you can, definitely place your order at an Apple store first. But that is also something that, you just kind of have to be in the right place. I know for you in Southern California, no issue. For me, where I live, still no issue. I do have to go probably like half an hour to the nearest Apple store. So if I did live just a little further, it'd be even more inconvenient. But, well, that's for pickup, which we'll talk about in a second. But like if you're going to the store, that's also something you have to pay attention to. But if you're just getting shipping, order from Apple. And I think that's the best way to go.
So you decide on the phone, and there are a couple other little tidbits to do. One is there does exist a thing called the iPhone upgrade program, which if you haven't heard of it before, it's this program where you sign up and you're basically financing the phone through a third party called Citizen One, and you're making payments on the phone. And as long as you make 12 or 11-ish, 12 consecutive payments on the phone, and you return the phone in good condition, you'll then get a brand new iPhone. So basically, it's like a way to get a new iPhone every year. It's a great program. Typically, if you're in the upgrade program, you can get pre-approved, basically like, I haven't been in it in a while, so I don't know what that pre-approval process exactly is for. Basically, making sure your info is up to date and good to go. So, because you're sort of taking out a loan in a sense, or a line of credit. So when you go through it again, everything can be run and good to go. If you are in the upgrade program, you've got to do that. You can usually do it a couple days before pre-orders go live, which is going to be tough this year because events Wednesday, pre-orders are Friday, so Thursday you better get on it. And also, if you're not in the program, at least this has been the case for the last couple of years, there's no way to join it until pre-orders go live. And trust me, you do not want to be joining the pre-order or the iPhone upgrade program when pre-order is live because it's going to be eating away at your precious minutes. The systems are going to be down, so don't do that. But just know that if you are in the program, get pre-approved so it'll be easier for you. If you're not, we can maybe talk about that in a little bit. There's a couple of things you can do, but just know that I would strongly recommend you not try to sign up during the pre-order window because you will probably not get your phone on launch day because the system's just going to be bogged down. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, you basically want to avoid any and all paperwork, even digital paperwork, on the day of, because that's what always, the systems are already shaky to begin with. So you enter in one field, you press enter to, send it to the servers. That one thing doesn't go through, so then you have to start all over, and it's a mess. We've had these issues before. I'm part of the program, the upgrade program right now. I get a new phone every year, so it just made sense that I'm spending basically the same money anyway, so might as well just be able to get the phone I guess actually I am saving money in a way. It's just I never always have the phone. But I liked it so far. I haven't had any issues with it, and it does just make my life easier, especially on the day of, because I know it's ready to go. I tell it which, basically the process is you have to apply for a new loan. It's a zero interest loan, so it's not like you're just basically paying it in chunks rather than all at once. So you apply for that. I mean, if you're in the program already, you're going to get approved. If you're not, then you're probably still going to get approved. This is not a stringent test, I'm pretty sure. But once you get approved, you then tell it what phone you want, what size you want, what color, all that kind of stuff as if you were purchasing it. And then it kind of just saves, at least this is what it was last year, it kind of saves this card in your Apple account. And then the day of, you just tap that card, order, and you're good to go. Like, it's that simple. So in that way, being part of the upgrade program is very easy, but it's not the only way to do it. It's still pretty easy no matter what. Another tip here, aside from the upgrade program, let's say you're not doing that, or even if you are, but if you're not, make sure you go into your account, your Apple account, and make sure all your information is up to date. So make sure your address is current, make sure your phone number is current, and most importantly, or maybe not most importantly, but equally importantly, make sure that your payment information is already in there. Whether you're using, a credit card, a debit card, whatever. The easiest way is actually just to use Apple Pay, so it doesn't matter. That's not part of your account. That's just on your phone. That's the easiest way that I've found. But just make sure all that information is up to date. And if you are going to use Apple Pay, make sure you go into your Apple Pay settings and make sure your shipping address or your billing address is all up to date, because I've had multiple times where I go in there to use my Apple Pay and it's actually a different address. So just make sure everything's squared away. Go in there, and that way on day of, you go into your account, hit buy, and you buy it. That's it. You don't have to think about anything else. Last thing kind of going along with that is when the phones are announced, go into the Apple Store app or on the Apple websites, find the configuration you like, and favorite it. So
that's
let's say,
the secret sauce right there.
Right, exactly. So you go in, let's say I want an iPhone 14 Pro. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to find the iPhone 14 Pro, I'm going to get the 512 gigabyte, for instance, and I'm going to get the green one, which I hope they make. So let's just say that's the dream config that I want. I, make it in their configurator, and then I just favorite it. You can't add it to your bag yet because it's not for sale yet, but you can favorite it. Then the day of, you just go into your favorites, click it, it's already ready to go, buy. So that's, at least on the Apple website, that's kind of the best way to do it. Whether you're in the upgrade program or not, you kind of just want to make sure everything is set beforehand.
And the reason we recommend you do that is because if you were to go to the Apple Store app now or online, like, the website's going to be fine. You can, navigate around. But the morning that pre-orders go live, the site is so slow and the precious minutes tick away so fast that you want to avoid every step possible. So in years past, when you go to order a phone, you tap it, it's super slow. Every little button, there's so much demand that it's super slow to try to get these phones. So as much of the process as you could do ahead of time, you definitely want to do that. And I will say, like Matt just said, the favorites thing is like the secret sauce. That's the fastest way to do it, because you literally can jump into your account, you go to your favorites, tap on it, order, and you're done. So that's the way to do it. I also should say that if you're on a cell plan, you want to make sure you have all the account info. So usually that's the billing zip code, a billing passcode if you've got one. It's the last four of the social of the account holder. You got to make sure you have all that because you're going to need it. And if you're looking to bypass that, you can also always buy unlocked, which is nice because you could just, I just buy it, I'm going to pay in full, and you don't need all that stuff. But you will obviously pay more for the phone. You're going to pay the full price. So just know that if you are going to go through a carrier, you need that stuff. Also, if you go through a carrier, there's payment plans and stuff. Just know that I'm not trying to discourage you from doing that. Just know that you run the risk of losing your phone because you don't have the phone until you purchase it and that order goes. Once you get, the purchase order number, then you're fine. But if you're waiting for payment plans and stuff like that, it's just going to slow things down. So just sort of keep that in mind. What you can always do, which I'm not going to say is a foolproof plan, but I'm pretty confident this will work. You want to do it and you don't want to have any hassles, buy the phone in full, pay the full amount, and then you can always take it to the Apple Store, then return it, and then just rebuy it under whatever conditions. So you're like, hey, I want to rebuy this under a Verizon payment program or whatever. Not guaranteed to work, if I can speak, not guaranteed to work, but typically I think that you can do that. Am I right or wrong on that, Matt? I think that because the phones are the same these days, you can do that.
Well, yeah, hardware-wise you can do that, but I can't remember if they actually let you do that, but I think they do. But yeah, at the very least, it's worth asking. Or, you know, if you change your mind, something like that, then you still have those 2 weeks. You can always return the phone, then buy it again. You know, this is, I mean, I guess this year, who knows? It could be completely different as the years before, but this is the iPhone. It's not a 16-inch maxed out MacBook Pro or anything that needs to be special ordered. They're going to have an iPhone, whether or not it's that exact day, maybe not, but, you know, within like a week. Usually you can get the iPhone you want. But yeah, that's definitely something to keep in mind is I would just recommend, if you're going to be buying the phone full out, just buy it unlocked. I wouldn't even recommend going through a carrier. You're not really saving anything. It's not helping you. In fact, if you're going to resell it later, it's going to help you there because now it's unlocked and anyone can buy it rather than just AT&T or just T-Mobile. Even though, does it even mean anything these days? Like if you buy the AT&T one, is it actually locked?
I don't think so, unless you're on a payment program where in that case they will lock it. But I think Apple made this switch a couple of years ago that now all the phones are like factory the same. They're all unlocked. Like there used to be the case where a CDMA and GSM, those were different phones. But I think now they're all the same phone unless you have a phone that's carrier locked. So keep that in mind. I also should say to your point, Matt, if you are looking to trade in your phone or even your watch, oh, actually, you know what? I'm just thinking if watch orders go live at the same time, we're going to be like killing ourselves trying to order a watch. Well, phone first and then watch. Anyways, I'll get ahead of myself on trade-in. So what I've always done, and I guess, well, let's finish this up, then I'll come back to this. So you order the phone, your payment program or whatever, like you got all that stuff squared away, you got your payment, your shipping, all that. Then there comes the question of in-store pickup or delivery. And I'll say this, Apple is really good 99% of the time that if they say you're going to get a phone on launch day, you will get a phone on launch day. They will move the heavens and the earth. They'll move mountains to make sure that you get your phone that day typically. But I think you might have been affected by this a couple of years ago. There was like some kind of freak storm or whatever with
like
the UPS network or whatever. Yeah. And then phones were delayed. So and I've heard this a couple of occasions, there have been issues where there's delivery issues. So if you're like us and you're obsessed, what we've always recommended is go in store because the beauty of that is that you're not dependent on anyone for delivery. You don't have to worry about, oh, did my phone ship? Oh, is UPS doing this or doing that? Because you just got to walk in and you've got a phone basically reserved, guaranteed for you from Apple's in-stock, in-store inventory. So I've always done pickup. I think, Matt, you're doing pickup. You've done pickup. Yep. It makes things way easier. And I love not stressing about, is my phone going to come? Where's the UPS truck? My phone's stuck in Alaska or China. In-store pickup is definitely the way to go if you can do it. So that's my other tip for shipping versus in-store pickup. Another reason why I probably wouldn't use a carrier because Apple has deals with UPS and FedEx ahead of time to make sure that your phones are like priority and they get to you. If you go through Verizon or AT&T or Best Buy, your luck will not be as guaranteed. I'll say that. Hey, you! Thank you very much for watching this clip from the Apple Circle podcast. If you want to check out the full episode, hit one of those videos right here and also hit the other surprise video to see a surprise clip from the Apple Circle podcast. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and subscribe to the Apple Circle audio feeds and on all your favorite podcast platforms linked down below. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to the main Apple Circle YouTube channel linked right down below.